Hi, friends. Hello. Good morning to everyone wherever you are. Good evening to anyone who's on the same side of the world I am because it is 9 o'clock over here. It is 6 o'clock in the evening. I'm in Turkey. I'm not together, y'all. I'll be perfectly honest. I checked into my new hotel this afternoon. I'll tell you which hotel it is another day, but today I'm going to tell you it's fabulous. And by the time I made it to the room, I told the lady I wasn't leaving. Y'all gonna have to come in here and drag me out with my luggage. I don't know what's happening. Oh, wait. Okay. I don't know what this red light means now. What happened? Truly, at this point, it's beyond me. Life is happening. Can you guys hear me? Is everything okay? Yeah, I checked in this afternoon and I haven't. It's really hard to go live from other new places. Not really hard. It takes effort that I hadn't put in yet. So I'm here. If you're watching this video to learn about travel mistakes and you're open to going on a journey with me today, stay tuned. If you're watching from the future, if you're not watching live, you're watching from the future, and you want the best answers as soon as possible with no segues, go ahead and turn it off. Because this is going to be a roundabout. And I say this because every once in a while I get people, hotel lotion, let's see if it works. It's their aromatherapy brand. I get people who are like, just get right to the answer. It's not that kind of day, y'all. This is not a get right to the answer day. This is a we'll go for a long walk in the park kind of day. So let's go for a long walk together. I want this to be about the mistakes I've made and the mistakes that you've made along the way in long-term travel. Janae knows what time it is. We're about to be all over the place. Yes, we're about to be all over the place. Because I haven't talked to you guys like one-on-one in a while. So I have lots of updates. I have been traveling since March 29th. It's now May 5th. Cinco de Mayo. So I've been in the streets for a while. I have another month and some change to go. So I can tell you what this extended journey has been like. I'm calling this a friend fit today. My friend that I just spent the week with crocheted this shirt for me. It's like a crop top. And then this over thing is from Katrina by way of Stephanie. We've all worn it. That's not what we're here to talk about, though. We're here to talk about travel mistakes. So let's do it. My first travel mistake of this trip. Yes, the traveling kimono. It is the traveling kimono. That's what we're calling it. Thank you, Goshan. My first travel mistake was packing. Mistakes were made. I, in planning this trip, maybe it's a plan. I don't know if it's a packing mistake or a planning mistake. In fact, I'm going to call it a planning mistake. In planning this trip, I'm going to multiple different weather situations, all in one and a half suitcase. I left Mexico City, where I live, if you don't know. I left Mexico City with a suitcase with like a duffel bag inside. Then I went to Atlanta, went to Bermuda, and then went to the cruise. And since I got off the cruise in Lisbon, Amsterdam, Brussels, and now Istanbul, I've had the tote bag out and the duffel bag is completely full. So I have a small suitcase, carry-on suitcase, my regular size tote bag, which is what I usually I travel with no matter where I'm going. It's a large checked bag, one of the big ones, and a full duffel bag. And yet, it's not enough for the really cold weather I've experienced and the really hot weather I'm going to experience at the end of a trip. So Amsterdam was like 50 degrees. I don't like that. And then I'm going to Jamaica in June, which is not going to be 50 degrees. And I brought like really moderate, most of the clothes I packed are for like 70-degree weather because I knew I was going to be in both climates, and none of the like 70 degrees clothing doesn't help you in 50-degree weather, and it doesn't help you in 90-degree weather. So I should have picked. My point is I should have picked a climate. I should have said I'm going to go somewhere where all I wear are tank tops and like booty shorts, or picked a place and said, let me bring these 6 really warm coats. That's all I got. Instead, I have like light coats and like long sleeve thin shirts. Freezing, y'all. It's a cold I don't need. I'm gonna see Shan in London in a few weeks. And what's the weather gonna do? I don't know. Will I be ready? I don't know. Okay, so if you're traveling long term, if you can help it, my suggestion for you is to pack for one weather condition and just go to those places in that weather condition. Keep your planning, you're going to one weather. You pick hot, bring hot. Yeah, see, you say I could also bring a heavy coat just in case. There's no, I literally am on the road and there's no room for heavy coat because everywhere I go, something else ends up in my bag. Like my friend knit me a shirt. Yay. But like, that's a new thing. You know what I mean? Like, I bought these pillowcases in Istanbul because they're hand woven silk that I won't see in many other places. You know, I like that kind of stuff. So they're in the back. You know what I mean? Like, yes, you could also just bring a heavy coat just in case, but I don't have room in my bag. Instead, the duffel bag is already in use and I still have a month to go. So I'm already overweight with the airlines. What are we doing? It's okay. So yes, so a heavy coat would be helpful, but if I was going to bring a heavy coat, I would suggest going to heavy coat weather. I'm really going all in. I don't have room in my bags for heavy coat. I've collected things along the way. My mom brought me something. Everything, you know what I mean? Like along the way, if you're picking up stuff, there's no more room in my bag. Backpackers do layering. Okay, I'm so sorry. Let me be very, very clear. I am talking to overpackers and maximalists. Overpackers and maximalists. This is what you need to do. A light puff will squish down easily. I love y'all. I feel like you're not hearing me. There's no more room. There's no more room. Yeah, so I did buy some long sleeve shirts to layer, and that helped a bit. When I was in Amsterdam, I brought some long sleeve shirts, but it didn't really, it doesn't really get. Carmen, you're not supposed to be doing this. You're not supposed to be recommending a bigger bag. Y'all, I'm trying to give you good advice, and y'all out here telling me, giving like advice that doesn't work for the person I'm talking to, right? This isn't going to apply to all of you. Traveling for months at a time is a different kind of beast. I'm recommending pack for one weather condition and go to that one weather condition. The other thing you can do, which I don't like doing, is bring things for one weather condition and then leave those things behind and go to another weather condition. CK asked, what about shipping your essentials to your designated location? Yes, except for international shipping. Right? Like for some places that might be really easy. For some places it won't be that easy. Yeah, so Brenda says, bring less for each climate. I don't have a lot. Like it's weird. It's hard to explain because like when you put in all of the like other stuff you need to, like I have one, I think I'm down to four. I have a fancy sandal, tennis, like a athletic tennis shoe, a beach sandal, and Converse. Oh, and I think that's it. And still, like, there's not a lot of room for other stuff. You know what I mean? Like it long-term packing, the travel goes quickly. Yes. Jolana says it's because it's hard to tell when spring, summer starts in Europe. Yeah. Based on the weather, I looked at the weather before Amsterdam or all the places I went before I went. The weather, it should have been like 10 degrees warmer than it was. That's the other part of it too. Like when I planned the trip, when I looked at the weather, it was supposed to be about 10 degrees warmer. So I packed and I didn't need. Thriving on Enough says ship what you don't need home to an Amazon locker. I didn't know you could ship to an Amazon. I didn't know as a non-Amazon person you can ship to an Amazon locker. That's also not going to work for all of us. That wouldn't work for me living in Mexico City. Right? Because shipping anything home, I'm going to have to pay taxes, like customs on anything I ship home. So it would work, but like it'd probably be cheaper to buy a coat and just leave it somewhere. Which I hate that feel. I don't like doing that personally. That works for some people, doesn't work for me. Yes, Brenda, this is good advice. Wear your bulky shoes on the airplane. I always do that when I travel with boots. I don't have any boots this time. It's all like my bulkiest shoe is a pair of tennis shoes. Fiona says, I tried to take 4 winter outfits to London during winter. By day 3, I would take all 3 outfits to dry cleaners while wearing an outfit 4. It didn't work so well. Yeah. You need more. Sorry, you need more things than you think when you're traveling long term. Can you give items to people you meet who are heading home? I don't think I'll meet anyone. Yes. So I believe in having people you are meeting bring you things and sending things home, except I don't think I'm going to see anyone on my journey who's heading to my home, right? It would work for someone else. It wouldn't work for me. So Keisha says, I'm such an overpacker. I was embarrassed putting the items on cobblestone streets. That's what I look like right now with the duffel bag out, and everything can physically fit in the suitcase, but it weighs like 70 something pounds, which is hard to pull over cobblestone street. So that's why the duffel bag's in use. Yeah, I don't know about shipping an Amazon locker. I'd never heard anyone say they did that before. So has anyone here actually done that? You know, someone mentioned that earlier, shipping to an Amazon locker. I did not know that was possible. Also, when I went to Uniqlo, that's where I bought my oversized shirt. I went in late April. Late April there. And I asked, like, do you have heavier clothes? Instead of like, I bought a couple of their heat tech shirts, which I have at home, but I didn't think about bringing because I didn't think it would be this cold. And they were like, oh no, we put away our winter clothes already. We don't have any winter clothes. Like she was like, the really, like, I don't know if you know, like what their heat tech shirts look like, but they're super thin, but like their technology keeps you warm, whatever. Warm. They said, we already put away all our winter clothes. We don't have anything out. They had jackets in the men's section, but like I said, I was not trying to buy a jacket. So suggestion from me to you. My watch keeps getting caught on the microphone. Sorry. Suggestion from me to you is to only pack for one climate and try to stick to that climate. You can do it differently, right? Like lots of suggestions here. There's lots of different ways to do it. You can do it in a way that works for you. This is the way that would work for me and the way my brain works. Some people love leaving stuff behind when they travel. I don't like the feeling of that. I don't know why. Yeah. Winnie B says 1 pair of sweats and 1 sweater were enough to get my luggage from 52 pounds to 49 pounds. Yeah. Winter clothes are heavy. You got to be committed to that. Okay. What about you guys? What packing mistakes have you made? Let me know. Nibinette says she needs a jacket for sitting on the plane. I get cold on most planes. I'm very much like a heavy like hoodie or sweatshirt on the plane, but not a jacket. I feel like too constricted on a plane in a jacket. Okay, Brenda says, I'm going to the British Isles in August and planning. I'm slowly removing items as I begin to prepare insignificant. That's right. Usually what I do is I'll like drag maybe like 2 weeks before a trip, if it's going to be a long trip, I'll drag a suitcase out to my living room and I'll start putting things in. And as I see how big that pile gets, I start taking things out. I have 3 jackets. I have jackets, they're just not thick enough, right? Like I brought the thin, super light jackets. The ones I have just are not thick enough for the cold that I've been in. And I thought Turkey was going to be warm. No. Fooled. So it hasn't been warm here either. I haven't reached well, today's a really nice day. Today's the first really nice day since we got to Turkey. It's been raining every single day. Like the weather was like, it'll rain like on Friday. And no, it rained Monday through Saturday. This is the first day it hasn't rained. It's Sunday. Jelani, yes, I'm in Turkey now. So it not raining has been nice. I've moved from a hotel in the city to a hotel in the beach, and that was really nice as well. I'm managing this, but baby, it has not been easy. Sarah says, I can't shake the notion of taking multiple pairs of shoes. I try to only bring 1 pair of shoes for each purpose. Now this time, I have 2 pairs of like casual walking shoes, right? 1 pair of slippers, 1 pair of beach sandals, like I said. But yeah, my trip is taking me from like, I forgot to mention, there's a wedding in the packing mistakes. There's a formal wedding in Jamaica in June, a formal wedding. There's a formal wedding. There's Jamaica itself for like a week. There's South Florida in June. It's going to be hot. And then there's all this cold weather in Amsterdam. And so I say it's not that long of a time. It's 2.5 months. It's a long time for a trip. It's not that long of a time, but I'm hitting all the seasons. All the seasons. I was talking to Stephanie the other day, and she was like, it was lovely when I was there last April 2018. She was there, and she was like, it was so lovely. And I'm like I'm cold to the bone. Like I can feel my fingers, my hands are normally really cold. But I can feel the cold in my bones. Yeah. It's not. I don't know where this thought was going, but pick a climate. Right? Like trust me on this one. Pick a climate. Radiant Renewal says I don't pack per se. I mostly throw stuff in my carry-on and hope for the best. Organization is challenging for me. Organization can be challenging, especially if you like don't like I said, for some of these places I'm leaving a month ahead of time. Like I left for Dublin, like I'm going to Dublin next, right? Going to Dublin on Tuesday. But I packed a month and a half ago, assuming like that I checked the weather to see what Dublin should do, but who knows, right? On a long-term trip like this, unless you're going to be in the same place the entire time, and even then you still need some variety in the clothing. It's like a month ago, this is what I thought Dublin would be doing. I don't know what it's gonna do, right? Mm. Um. Oh, Donna travels with a carry-on all the time. Not me. I can't remember the last time I did carry-on only. I literally can't remember. My friend who I saw, I traveled with in Istanbul, said that she hasn't checked a bag in years, and I was like, what? Like, I literally was like, because I asked her to bring me something like a liquid, and she was like, "Oh, I can't do that because I haven't checked a bag in. I'm not checking a bag, and I haven't checked a bag in years." It didn't even dawn on me that she wouldn't check a bag. Like, I was like, "What do you?" Now she ended up checking a bag, not for that, but because she knew she's a crocheter, and she knew she'd want to buy yarn here, and she did buy yarn here. Um, but I'm a big bag checker. Let's see. Oh, this is Mimi is a really good idea. You use luggage left service at Heathrow Airport Terminal 2 to store luggage while you did a quick 3-day trip to Nice with only your small carry-on, as I'd be flying out of there back to Cali. That's a great idea. I haven't done luggage storage anywhere because usually I'm not flying back to a place. Usually, I'm headed forward. Sometimes I do though. I have a friend of mine who leaves her stuff at a hotel. Like, she stayed at a hotel in Mexico City, and she leaves her stuff there too. And like, will come back in a month for a suitcase. Like, hi, I'm here. Here's the bag tag. Get out my bag. And I don't quite understand that completely. My brain doesn't wrap around it all the way. But she's done it. Mm. All right. Let's see. Thriving on enough. It took me years to learn how to pack lightly. I now wear a sweater and windbreaker. I bring items that can be quickly washed in my hotel laundry room. Carry-on includes a pair of walking shoes and sandals. That is great advice for the minimalist girlies. Will never be me. But I did, for the first time, y'all, I did set my laundry out. I've never in my life sent laundry out for someone to wash it. I did that in Turkey because so usually, like, when I'm long-term traveling, I'll try to stay, especially like on my career break. What I did was I'd stay in a hotel maybe, and like every other stay was an Airbnb with a washer and dryer, or at least a washing machine. So every other time I would wash, like, I would have clothes, like once, at least every other week, I could wash my clothes. This time, there was a washing machine on the cruise ship, so I did my laundry there. A washing machine in the Airbnb in Lisbon. Nothing in Amsterdam, Brussels. I'm in a hotel for Amsterdam, Brussels for the rest of his trip. Entire rest of his trip, I'm in hotels. So I will not, and I don't necessarily want to wash everything in a hotel, like sink or laundry room, because I don't even think I know this hotel doesn't have a laundry room. And when I sent a skirt out to be dry cleaned at the hotel in Bermuda, that one skirt was $18, and I was like, I can't. Y'all know how much stuff I said I have. I can't. Oh, we can't be doing this every day. So, yeah, I sent stuff out to get washed, and that was not a bad experience. I can tell they threw everything in this. Like, my white socks came back a little gray. I think they threw everything in the same washing machine and let everything go. There was no separation. Whatever. It's clean. That's all I asked for. My white stuff is a little dingy. Little. Mm, mm, mm. Okay. Mm. Mm. Nice. LOL. This is good advice. I packed 2 colors for Panama in March, different shades of blue and white, then turned around in April and packed beige, brown, creams for Portugal. Never got boring. Limited shoes. That is a good idea. Limiting the stuff you wear by color. So it's kind of like having a capsule collection while you are traveling. I like it. I like it. This is the one. I brought my friend a bottle of champagne. So I had to, like, it was in my suitcase. I didn't bring it all the way from home, but that brought weight. Someone gifted me a bottle of Portuguese liquor, which I'm not gonna open while I'm traveling. And so I'll take it home. I do end up usually like I like to have alcohols from different countries. So I'll have that, but like that's more weight. I love it. Appreciate it. But these are you know what I mean? Those are the things that create more weight. The things you buy, the things you're gifted. I buy things for my best friend in most of the countries I go to and myself, right? Like if I get myself something, I'll get her something too. And so I got us both bowls in Istanbul. So it's not like I'm leaving with a lot. In Istanbul, I picked up technically 4 things: 2 pillowcases, 2 pillow covers, and 2 bowls. It's not a lot. Together, they might weigh like 2 pounds, maybe. But like that's 2 more pounds than I had before. Y'all are wild. I literally do not understand this. 20 years? You haven't checked a bag in 20? Girl, were you crazy, girl? Mm-mm. 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 Wild. Okay, Radiant Renewal. While we're talking about mistakes, you want about different booths in various countries. I'm on tour and believe this will be my new ministry. Multiple men, girl, or multiple booths. You did not say men. Apologies. I'm going to be open to the idea that you're not talking about men, and so my whole outlook has changed. Blessings. All right. I have never checked a bag. Y'all are really I really cannot grasp this. 30 days in one carry-on bag? Oh my God. Wait a minute. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Whoo. Mm. Mm. Couldn't be me. But I'm so proud of you guys. Sabi said, a mistake I made was packing cute clothes that no longer fit, thinking I'd find a seamstress and have them fixed. I never have time. That's the thing. Like, I feel like I never have enough time for the things I want to do when I'm traveling like this, or like the grand plans in my head. And I never have something that I need, right? In this huge suitcase full of stuff, and there's always something missing. Mm. Mm. Mm-mm. I'm definitely on team. I don't own anything that needs dry cleaning or ironing. Like, it might want to be ironed, but it don't need to be ironed. Not me. I don't have it. Mm-mm. Mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. This is the one. When you start getting the stuff and you go to, so I travel with a suitcase scale. It's one of those ones like you hang it by the handle and then you have to lift it up. But I've actually hurt my back because you don't really get you get a little bit of lift with your knees, but not as much because of the way you have to do it. It's like you hold on to both sides of the handle, you lift it up, and then you see how heavy the suitcase is. And that eliminates some of the stress before check-in. But baby, the stress of I picked up some stuff and I don't know how much this is going to weigh at every single airport as you're traveling for long term. Hilarious. All right. Now, y'all know I love Cat to death, but like our lives are so yin and yang. Our habits, I'll say, are so yin and yang. 2 months carry on only? I think the only way I might be able to make that work if I did the whole like I'm showing up, I will buy what I need and I will leave things behind. That's I think the only way I could maybe I don't know. Always take a bag. I always listen. It's gonna be a check bag. Yeah, I will be at baggage claim. Oh, so no black clothes in Portugal in the summer. Okay. Listen, I am a shower steam girl. Let that thing hang in the shower in the bathroom as close as I can get it to the running water without getting wet. Shan't be ironing. If I have to iron it, it's not coming with me. Mm-mm. Aria D did 30 days in Cape Town in a backpack. Okay, Brittany. So it's not you, it's the girls that need the luggage. It's not you. You'd be just fine. But the tatas need a check bag. Just fall into the check bag life. Just fall into it. Mm-mm. I have used everything in my check bag, except for the stuff that I got along the way. So there's one, I'm looking at a shirt right now, but I haven't worn. I forgot. I got stuff from Mrs. Perry that's in my bag, from Bermuda, but I'm gonna take all the way back home. I got it. So she gave me something on day 3 of my trip, and it is a 75-day trip. It's like that kind of, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't expecting it. Thank you, love it. But it's that kind of thing where like there's just things that end up in your suitcase that weren't there when you started. Whew. Y'all really be carry on only. Mm-mm. So I never pack a full suitcase either. Or if I like this time, my suitcase was pretty full, and that's why I brought the duffel bag because I knew I would need it. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. So I use packing cubes for organization purposes only. I always say this, and I feel like I used to be team packing cubes. But the thing about packing cubes is that I what I see most frequently is people are like, I can pack 47 things right there into this cube. And so their carry-on bag is packing cube, packing cube, packing cube, packing cube. And if they ever have to pick up that bag, it's not like a 50-pound bag. Because you got 50 pounds of things in because you use the packing cubes, right? So like for me, if I got to pick this, like you have to be able to lift your carry-on over your head to get it in the overhead compartment. And we put so much stuff in using those packing cubes that I've seen people hurt themselves. I think that actually might be how I kind of hurt my knee. Oops. Um, yeah. So packing cubes can be great, but I don't use them to like stuff things in, like to make more room. I use them like, oh, all my socks are in that packing cube, right? And all of my underwear is over here. So I know if I like I can take them out easily. I have all of my swim stuff that I won't need until Jamaica. I wanted it on the boat, on the front end, and in Jamaica on the back end. And so it's all in like a packing cube that I won't open again until I get to Jamaica. Okay. So that's how I use them. Oh, girl, yes, I live by shower steam. Now, you put a dress in the shower, close to the shower, it's not going to come out like it was ironed, but it'll be like maybe like 40% less wrinkled, maybe even 50. And true, I'm about to be 45. If anyone cares about the wrinkles in my outfit, I know they don't have enough business of their own. Because what do you like? If my dress is wrinkled, what's the worst that's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know. I see you, Chanel. She said, no check bugs folks have her almost as perplexed as the no wash legs folks. Listen, I understand it, and yet I don't understand it. But I'm proud of you guys. I'm not leaving behind feels I don't know why. It's like it's very don't feel right. Let's see. Okay, so let's talk about this. Checking a bag is great if you fly first. Business as your luggage is first. Otherwise, you're waiting forever. So what I have found over the past, I want to say like year, is that if I'm flying first business in the US, I fly on Delta a lot, so I get that little yellow priority tag. My bags do tend to come out first. When I'm getting off in another country, your bag's coming out when everybody else is. You just wait. That whole like, you'll get your bag first. So like, I don't know if Delta still has it, but they had like something where like, if your bag didn't come out in like within 10 minutes of you landing, you'd get points. I think it was 10, maybe 15. I don't know, whatever the time was. Like if your bag wasn't on the baggage claim within a certain amount of time, you'd get points. In the US, in other places, where's your bag? Who knows? Who cares? It comes when it comes when it comes. It comes when it comes. So that's not even a benefit to me anymore. I don't see it. Flying business first. Your flight gets there when it gets there. Now, for long haul flights, I'm still gonna do it, but my bag, want. Let's see. 6 weeks with the carry-on in Europe to save on luggage fees. 2 weeks or less is carry-on only for you. All right. Bar shampoo. I'm all liquids all the time. I just decant them into like smaller containers, which is also why my luggage isn't light. I bought a full-size hair gel. I was gonna wash my hair today, but when I checked in here, I was like, what if I just lay down in this bed? And so I did not use the hair gel today, but it'll be gone in a couple weeks, maybe even less. And my friend bring me another one because I washed my hair. I've been gone a month. I've washed my hair 4 or 5 times, and I'm halfway through a bottle. And I'll be washing my hair more frequently now that I'm not on the boat. Doing it on the boat felt weird, just because like we're on a boat. We only have so much water. I can't sit under the shower for like as long as it takes. It takes a long time. Ooh. Yes. The airline I came on to get here, Turkish Airlines, weighed my carry-on bag. I hate that. And the Asian budget airlines, most budget airlines will weigh your carry-on bag as well. Mind your business. Mind your business. Because sometimes it's not even if the limit is like if the carry-on limit is low, yes. But sometimes it's like it doesn't really matter except for you as a way to get more money. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, Radiant Renewal is brilliant. Wrinkled and textured clothing. Yes. Buy it pre-wrinkled, baby. Smart. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Hey, Auntie Marilyn. I owe you a message. I love you so much. Thank you for coming with us on the cruise. It was a blast. It was a blast. Yeah, Mexico City made me wait on the business class luggage. Mexico City will make you wait. Like you could have come back from the moon as like the country's first astronaut, and you're gonna wait for them bags. They don't care. Like it's the wildest. I've waited at baggage claim for an hour and a half before for a bag. What's that? What y'all doing back there? What are y'all doing back there with the bag? What's happening? Why is it taking out 90 minutes? And everyone's standing around like, are we in the right what's happening? Are we in the right place? What are we doing? Yeah, they don't care. Mm-mm, mm. All right. Okay. Carmen is giving us her haven't checked a bag in 20 years suggestions. I'm a capsule wardrobe person all the time. I buy merino wool clothing and shoes and limit the items that I own. It's that last part of that sentence, girl. That limit the items I own, where I'm like, I was with you and then I wasn't with you. We were together and then we had to separate because I don't believe in limits like that. Not for me. Oh, and here come Janae trying to know me. I am nuts. Oh yeah, like I didn't leave home with this. Stephanie was like, I have something for you. And it was like so much like legit a lot of the things in my suitcase that are like not weighing me down, but like the reason I have a duffel bag is because I have so many more things than I didn't have when I started. And unless you're someone like I saw Kat from Rebloom Room say this earlier, she doesn't get anything new unless it's something she can eat. She doesn't get it on a trip or on a carry-on only trip. There's always something new around the corner. Aria does bar shampoo. Oh, Carpe Diem. I only use. I I check a bag every time. So yes, the answer to if you're asking me, I I never don't check a bag. Like even if I was only going to away for no, if I was going away for a weekend and I could put everything in a carry-on bag, I'd put it all in a carry-on bag. But I do not hesitate to check a bag. Take it. Take it away from me. Take it away from me. I bring laundry soap. This time I even brought dish soap because I wash my makeup brushes in dish soap. I usually use dish soap and olive oil to wash them, but because I'm traveling and I have to do what I have to do, I wash my makeup brushes. I brought dish soap to wash my makeup brushes. Yes. All right. Let's see. What are some other mistakes? We've been talking about luggage for 43 minutes, which I can do, but what are the other mistakes you guys have made? What have you ever mistakes I made? Want to talk about this? Let's talk about this. Y'all, Turkey. Istanbul, these hills, I stayed in like the old part of town. Sultanahmet, I think is how you say it. I could be wrong. I'm most likely wrong. It's okay. And like 10 minutes away from the Blue Mosque, 10-minute walk. Baby, the way I woke up this morning, my feet hurt from all the walking and all the hills. Like my butt hurts, my leg hurts, everything hurts from all of the like we so frequently in the city, the map would tell us to turn left and we would, or like turn right, and we would turn right and look, and the hill would be like this. And we'd look at each other like, well, this is what the map says to do, but what? Uh, or like, we'd be huffing up some hill, and here goes somebody else, like a local, like, huffing up the hill too, like, why is life like this? So, the walking, the walking. Now, there are other options like Ubers. to get around. Ubers and taxis. We were told the taxis weren't always your best bet. You might get a little detour, a little something, something. So we're like, take Ubers. Now, what's going on here that I would like to dig in, I'm curious about, but what am I going to do? A research paper? Whatever. I on Uber, open the app, look, get a rate. So they use taxis are on their Uber system. So the way Uber works is it's like the meter fare plus 20 lira, which is less than $1 for like the booking fee, which for me is better than a street taxi because like someone knows where I am. Like the Uber app knows where I am. There's someone, you know what I mean? And the Uber app don't care where I am. But if someone in the future needs to find out what happened to me, right? Like whatever. It's better than like a taxi where it's like, oh, we don't know what car she got into or where she went, right? Okay. Every single time we called an Uber gives you a rate. Like for this ride, it should be 200 lira. It's a little more than $6, a little less, between $6 and $7. It's like approximately like 30 to 1 to US dollars, approximately. Someone's going to come to this for a future and be like, no, it's 50 to 1. Today, it's approximately around 30 to 1. Okay. Around 30 to 1. So 200 lira to like 300 lira will be like the rate they quote you for this ride. And then you get there, you get dropped off, and it's like 600 lira for the ride. And it's like you who know how the meters work, Uber, and know the route, and you know the traffic that's around, because y'all use Google Maps that knows the traffic. Or at least you used to. I'm pretty sure you still do. You know the amount of traffic, you know the meter cost, you know the route, and not a single time has the rate been even within the range. You give us a range. I'm okay with a range. It has never once been within the range of what you say it's going to be. Like coming here, my rate was 100 lira more than the top of the range. Now that's about $3. I'm not tripping. But one time it was really like $20 more than it was supposed to be. What are we doing? Like, yeah. And so it's really weird being in a place where like, I don't know why it's this inconsistent. I don't know if the taxi drivers are doing something, if Uber's doing, I don't know what's happening. I'm not blaming, I'm pointing a finger, but I don't know who I'm pointing it at. There's something wrong with this system, but I don't know who I'm pointing the finger at. But like getting around was extremely difficult. In the sense that like, I'm told by people who have lived in Turkey, them taxis gonna rip you off, dog. Okay. So go on the Uber, which is just a layer on top of the taxi. One of the Ubers we went in, we got in, we were leaving at night. I don't know if it was just a nighttime thing that was going on. My friend called an Uber at night to take us home, and we'd already gone the exact same place. We went to this one place in the daytime, and they went back at night. So hotel to the place and back during the day, and hotel to the place and back at night. None of the rates were like the other ones at any time. But like the rate we were quoted to go home was same thing, like 200 something lira to 300 something lira. And one driver hit us up and was like, when they messaged her, no hello, no hi, nothing, just 450. And it was like, 450. Oh, you want us to pay you 450 lira? Even we didn't know at the time, but the rates were so crazy. This is before we realized what was going on, but they weren't within the range. So you want us to pay you 450 lira, even though the top of the range is 300, and we were like, no. So he cancels. And then another Uber collects, and he's like 900 lira. It's supposed to be 200 to 300. So we're sitting there like, it's late, it's dark. So the 900 lira driver shows up, and we're messaging. We're like, we're not paying you anything other than like the app is going to charge us amount of money, and it's going to take it off the credit card. We're not paying you cash. We're not taking out a card. We're not giving you any additional money. Shows up, gets in the car, and he's like, did you get our message? And we're like, yeah. Did you get ours? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, we're not paying you anymore. That man pulls over on the side of the road and puts us out his car because we won't pay him $30 for what Uber is telling us should be between $6 and $10 for a ride. I was like, this isn't like, it's what? You want $30 for the ride? Then we had to wait for a third Uber. So when I say there were transportation problems, there were transportation problems. But then 2 days ago, we took the ferries. We were looking for a water taxi, but we didn't end up taking a water taxi. We took ferries to like the Asian side, and that was really a great, like the water travel experience is a great experience in Turkey. Loved it. No complaints. The Uber experience, like I took a photo of my Uber driver to get here. I took a photo. I didn't look at his meter because the meter's on the, you can see it. You can see the meter. I didn't take a photo of it when we were leaving to know where he started, but I took a photo of it when we left, when we stopped. And it's not what I was charged. And I'm like, I don't know why it's not what I was charged. I just know it's not. So I think it's 203 or something. I can't see everything. I think it's 200. Oh, there it is. It's 279 lira on the meter. Right? Stopped. And Uber is supposed to add 20 lira to that. 279, we'll call it 280 plus 20 is 300 lira. I was charged 400 lira. Like I said, $3. I'm not tripping. But I'd love to know how we end up here. If you say it's based on the meter and the meter's running and it doesn't equal what it's supposed, how do we, right? Like I said, I can't tell. Like someone asked, can I rate them? I don't know if it's the driver who's doing it or Uber who's doing it, or if they're in cahoots, right? Like I don't know what's happening. Why the meter rate? They say we're being charged the meter rate plus 20, but we're not being charged the meter rate plus 20. And like I said, the evening when we came home, supposed to be between 200 and 300, we got charged like 600. There's a place on the app, let me show y'all, which I've never seen before in another city, whatever. On the receipt, if you go to the receipt, boop, let me not show y'all. I don't know if there's any private information here. If you go to the receipt, thank you for writing, blah, blah, blah. There's my credit card number. There's a button here that says review my fees and fares. And you can ask them to review it and see if it's right. And I asked them to review one, and it cut the price in like half. If you can cut the price in half, you weren't charging me the right price to begin with. Why is this happening? Anyhow, it's very much like I said, I don't know if a taxi drivers are doing something that does it or Uber's doing something, but it makes the experience less pleasant. So does a taxi, like calling an Uber and having them tell you need to give them more money on top of the Uber fare for them to take you somewhere. What y'all doing? What y'all doing over there? So lots of shenanigans. So there are other app options, but they sounded like it was just also, again, I don't know, I didn't do full research on this, but what it sounded like in like a quick read was it was another layer on top of taxis. It's like taxis are your options, but how you get in the taxi is up to you. Okay, all right. Y'all. Something happened the other day, and I was like, the taxi driver is doing this. It's before we really read into details about how the system was working. But I was like, he's doing this. The taxi driver is doing this for a reason. And either it's because he wants us to experience this, or because we're being charged for it. One of these two. I'm not sure which, maybe both. What happened the other day? Y'all. Woo! Okay, what happened the other day? We are 2 minutes away from home. It literally might have been a 5-minute walk home, a 2-minute drive. Super close to home. We're right around the corner from a drop-off point. We are at most a 5-minute walk from a drop-off point. And the driver says, "Excuse me." He pulls the car over. Like I said, it's either because he wants us to experience this moment, the two women in the back seat, or it's because he's on the meter and we're getting charged for this moment. This man walks over to the side of the road, pulls his dick out and pees. And the meter's going, which is not the worst part here. But like in the middle of the ride, not even at the middle, like at the end of the ride, we would have been out of his car in under 5 minutes. At the most, if he had hit traffic, there'd be 3 minutes. He pulled over to urinate on the side of the road. What is, we were in the back seat like, what is happening now? What is going, why is this happening? Oh, guy. Man pulled over to pee on the clock. And I was like, why would you, what? You know that moment of like, but like, so Dana asked, do you say anything to the driver? First of all, for Turkish to English wasn't that, a lot of people we have encountered speak enough English to do what they need to do, but no more than that, which is fine because it's not your language, right? Like, I'm not tripping about that. I brought out the translation app whenever I need it. But like, what am I going to say to you besides once you've already peed? Like, there was no like, excuse me, I'm going to go urinate. Like, he stopped the car, got out, and while getting out was like, excuse, be right back, or some version of that. And got out and peed. And I was like, you could have dropped us off and done this in a second, but you didn't. And then when I looked at like how we are like, oh, we get charged by the meter, and I was like, oh, we were paying for that. That's why. I think that's why that happened. We're paying for this. We're paying for your pee break. And when I tell you side of the road, I want you to know it is a busy street. It is not a small street. He pulled out, it is at least 4 lanes, maybe 6, maybe 3. Yes, I think it might be 6, 3 on each side. Big, people coming from downtown and going out further. Pulls over and urinates. What is happening? Did he wash his hands afterwards? I mean, after we got out the car, I guess. But we didn't have to do anything that contacted his hands. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have to hand him anything or grab bags or. But no, he didn't wash his hands. No hand sanitizer, just dick in hand and then dick and hand on car, which I guess puts dick on car. I was like, this is, and when I say side of the road, I mean he walked There was like a sidewalk and an embankment because it's a very walkable area where we were on the ocean front. It was a very walkable area. Going into town, it was nothing but hills, but where we were, sidewalk. He walks to the edge of the sidewalk and pees, not like into a bush, not like back up in the grass. He walks to the edge of the sidewalk. He's behind the car. I didn't say that, FYI. He has the class and the decency to walk behind us. So he's not like peeing in our view. This is a classy man, y'all. He's peeing behind us. I recorded. I did not want to record the man pee. I didn't even think about sending it to Uber. I didn't want to record the man peeing because, people have to have some privacy. But he was also peeing up the side of the street, so clearly he doesn't care about privacy. I recorded in the moment. I recorded our reaction. Like, our driver pulled over, and I think he's about to go pee. Oh yeah, he's back there peeing. But I didn't look at it, so I don't know if you can see him at all. When I say this has been an experience, this has been an experience. And Michelle says he knows what he was doing. Yes. The app tells you how long before drop off, right? We are right around the corner from our hotel. He knew we were going to be out of this car in a couple of minutes. He knew, and still he pulled over. When I tell you Turkey's been just an interesting experience, it has. It has. Now, the hotel I'm staying at offered me options to get me to the airport or pick me up from the airport because they thought I was coming from the airport. They didn't realize I'm staying at now. They didn't realize I was staying at in the city. Their options from the airport ranged. It's a 40-minute drive. Their options ranged from 100. Yes. I asked at the front desk here. They say it's a 40-minute drive. The option to get picked up from the airport ranged from, the lowest one was $106 for the 40-minute drive to, let me pull this out and tell you, it was $1,000. $1,000 for the 40. I was like, y'all crazy. There's a whole lot of crazy happening. Why $1,000? And when I hit them up and I was like, okay, hi friends, I'll be coming to your hotel, but I won't be doing that. So how do you recommend I get there? They were like, girl, good luck. In a very nice way. It's very, this hotel is so much far. I'll tell you what it is later. Very, very much about service. Okay, from the $1,000 does include someone meeting you and helping you maybe through immigration. Let's see. Meet and greet service means to escort our guests through security and immigration procedures and to meet with driver at airport. That is 1,085 euro, which that's not what I want. What I was like, what is this? What is this number? When you say this number, it's very confusing to me. What y'all doing? $1,168 for them to meet you and help you through security and then drive you 40 minutes. Maximum 2 people. And then the cheapest with that option is 261 euros, maximum of 4 people, or 436 euros, maximum of 8 people. And that's from the other airport. But the price looks like it's the same, close enough to IST. There are 2 airports here. Yes, but to go to the airport I'm going to, the cheapest option for me from here is, well, no, this is this is picked up. So I don't know if it's the same price to get dropped off, but 107 euros is the cheapest. And that is $115 for the 40-minute ride. Not bad. $800, but pickup without the meet and greet service The most expensive one is $915. It's a 40-minute ride. It's a 40-minute ride. I was like, I won't be needing that service. Thank you. Ubers are a mess, but I was like, I'm gonna get in the Uber. Like, I'm gonna get in an Uber. Like there are other options, right? You don't have to do that. By the way, me getting here, now we're talking about airport rides. There's been a lot of really good stuff happening, and then there's a lot of like, okay. It's another one of those places where I feel like as a woman, I say words, and the men who are hearing these words somehow, the men who the words are meant for somehow cannot hear them. Is the hearing. It's not a language issue because you're speaking to me in perfect English. But when I say things, it's like I wasn't even there. Today, so outside of the big tourist attractions, there's all these guys who are trying to distract you from what you're doing and take you somewhere else. One of them at one point was like, I'm not a kidnapper. Baby boy, when you say that, it sounds real kidnappy. Like, like if you have to say, I'm not a kidnapper, it's because you sound like a kidnapper. Anyhow, so because we are staying in that area, we've been up by the mosques a couple times. And so they know today one guy was like, it's nice to see you again. And I was like, don't talk. Like y'all have been harassing me for days, right? But one guy, as I was leaving the mosque, I went to the Blue Mosque this morning. And as I was leaving, the guy said, do you want to go to the bazaar? I'm tired. I'm tired of having this. I'm tired of someone being like, hey, come here. Hey, do this. Like it's when you come to these places, it's a bunch of men being like, come this way, see this, go this. I'm walking into the Blue Mosque this morning. This is what I mean. I'm walking into the Blue Mosque this morning. It opens at 8:30. I'm entering the gates at 8:30. And the guy's like, you need to cover up. He's not an employee. He's someone who's trying to distract me from what I'm doing. And I was like, okay. Like I've got what I need, right? I'm good. I'm wearing a hat that covers all my hair, but okay. What do I need to cover? Okay, it's fine. I'm ignoring him. He says, and anyhow, the mosque is closed. The mosque is closed. The mosque opens at 8:30. It's 8:30 and people are in there. And guess what? It's open, right? I see other people are walking in, but he's trying to distract me from going to the mosque and taking me to his store or something else. And so he's lying to me and telling me the mosque is closed. It's that kind of stuff. Anyhow, this is how entering the mosque. Coming out, the guy says, do you want to go to the bazaar? And I say, no. And I tell you, this has been going on for days, and I'm tired of talking to these men. Because this man says, why not? Why not? Do you want to go to the bazaar? I say no. And your response is, why not? How does that make sense to you, big dog? Like, how as a stranger did that make sense to you? You're challenging without knowing me at all, you're challenging what I want to do with my time? Baby, I was just like, no means no. And I kept it walking, which I'm not going to go there, but you already know what I'm thinking, right? Because if you won't take the no from me on the street, who are you accepting a no from? But it was very pushy. Come here, walking by all the restaurants. Come inside. This. Why not? Come. Now, I see you guys saying you're not going to go. I think you can have an excellent experience, even as a solo traveler. You just got to put those blinders on. Like, no one did anything that would make me say I would not go back. But it was very much, is this the moment stuff pops off? There were a couple moments like that. There were a couple moments where my friend and I were treated differently than other travelers around us. Why? Like this morning getting into the mosque, we took our shoes off, right? The guy's yelling at you, take your shoes off, take your shoes off, take your shoes off, take your shoes off. I take my shoes off where everybody else is. Okay. Everybody's taking their shoes off, take their shoes off. It's there's like a red carpetish area. And I take it off right before I get there. He looks at me as I'm walking on. He's screaming at me, take your shoes off. My shoes are in my hand. Screaming at me, take your shoes off, take your shoes off, take your. And I'm like, my shoes are in my hand. And he looks at me, he says, take your socks off. And I was like, everybody's wearing socks. People behind me are wearing socks with their shoes off behind me. Listen to me, behind me, they're wearing socks with their shoes off in their hand. In front of me, they're wearing shoes off, socks with their shoes off. This man looked at me, y'all, looked at me and said, unclean. And baby girl, I had to remember I was in a mosque because I was like, what's now? The socks are not unclean by themselves because I just got them from the cleaner yesterday. But when I think I said screaming, he's yelling. I'm not gonna say scream. He's loudly telling people to take their shoes off. Loud. He says unclean. And I'm like, is this where I go to jail? Like what? And then I realized I think what I gather from this is what he's saying is that I took my shoes off and I stepped on the concrete, not directly on the red carpet. And so now I'm stepping on the ground and going to walk inside, and like the unclean ground. This is how I'm choosing to decipher this. That I'm not an unclean person. He's not saying I'm an unclean person. He's saying the ground is unclean and I'm wearing my socks on the ground. And so I can't step upon the carpet. But remember I said all them people behind me because he's raising his voice and telling us to take our shoes off. So when we hear him, we take our shoes off. All the people behind me have socks on too. And he's not stopping them. He's not telling them to take their socks off. He only stopped me and told me if I said screaming, yes, at me, started yelling, shoes off. And I have my shoes in my hand, like, shoes are off. I think what he was saying was I stepped on the ground and that was not permitted. Now, in that case, I feel like you tell people, or you have a sign that says, because they have signs that say, well, you have to cover whatever. Have some kind of indication that you're supposed to take one shoe off and step that foot on the red carpet, and then take your other shoe off and step that foot on the red carpet, pick up your shoe and go. Because nobody's doing that. What you are mad at me for not doing, absolutely not a single soul is doing it. And yet you're only stopping me. Yesterday we were going into another mosque, and I was with a Romanian, a South Korean, and an Italian. And each of us, the ticket window situation for Hagia Sophia is real interesting. It's not made. The user experience could use some work. Anyhow, so 4 of us are in line over here. 4 of us are saving our spaces for ticket. So what we buy the tickets, we're in line to buy tickets, and then there's a security line. So we're holding our spot in the security line. A guy comes by. Now, mind you, we were the first we were within the first 10 people there, whatever. But in the security line, the guys coming by is like, if you don't have tickets, you need to leave. If you don't already have your tickets, you need to get out of the line. The line is like at least an hour and a half long. We've been here for an hour already, first people here. So we're like, really don't want to get out of the security line because we've been here waiting. Okay. But if this is what y'all do, whatever. So he tells everyone, if you don't have tickets, you need to go, get security, whatever. He stops my friend. And says, you need to go. And he doesn't say this to any of the other people. He tells everyone else you need to leave, but they don't leave. They stay there. He's like, you need to go. And puts his hands on her to pull her and says he's going to call security on her if she doesn't go immediately. Remember I told you, I'm with 3 of us are over here. Their counterparts are on this side. And the only person they put hands on was the black girl. The only person they said they were going to call security on was a black girl. Everybody else stayed in line and didn't move. They weren't forced out. She was forced out. Now, maybe it was for some other reason besides her being black. But. So, other than that, those were the 2 moments where I was like, oh. All right, turkey. Other than that, and both of those experiences were at mosques, which is real interesting. Maybe I'll think about that later. Yeah, those were. Other than that, it was just people like hustling all day long. Come in my restaurant, like literally. It's one thing to walk down the street and have someone be like, food, this. It's like someone is trying to get you in conversation. Where are you from? Look inside, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to get you in conversation every single step you take when you're in these tourist zones, and then trying to distract you from what you want to do so that you can do what they want you to do. And that was tiring. But it's pretty and it's old. Like I said, I would never say don't go. Not to Turkey. I'll tell you not to go somewhere in a heartbeat. This is not one of those places. That's video. That's not what it's about. But my friend got so pissed she didn't go inside. Like I was buying tickets and she came over and she was like, don't buy me a ticket. I'm not going in. I didn't know why she wasn't going in. She was just like, I'm not going in. Her fear was that she would buy the ticket. We'd be able to go in early, like not have to wait in the line for some reason. And the guy would see her and like either really call security on her, and security was probably the police, or he would like stop her from coming in even with the ticket. But the Romanian, the Italian, the South Korean were in immediately. So that was the thing. What's funny was that my friend, when she went to wait in the security line, she was in front of this woman. I don't know where she was from because I was on the other side of the street getting in the ticket line. She was in front of this woman, and the minute I bought the ticket and my friend had left the line, older woman starts smiling and she's waving and she's like, come, because they had separated the people who have tickets and people who are waiting for tickets. So there was a line of people who didn't have tickets yet but were waiting. My friend, for some reason, wasn't allowed to wait in that line. The man grabbed her arm, trying to pull her out into the exit. Anyhow, but there's a line. And this lady who was behind her was waiting in that line. And she waved me over. And I thought she was waving. I think she thought she was waving my friend over too, without realizing that homegirl was like, I'm not going in there. And she waved me in, even though she wasn't in line. She let me walk past her, and there was a tour group going in, and I just walked in with the tour group. So I didn't have the line to get tickets at 9. It opened at 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., the line to get tickets was at least an hour long. The line for security was at least an hour and a half long. We'd been there since 8 in the rain. It was raining. We had under umbrellas in the rain. All the other people that I just mentioned came after us, the Romanian, South Korean, Italian. It was a good little moment down there. It was nice. They were all after us, and they got inside, and my friend did not. The woman who was behind her got inside. She was allowed to wait without a ticket. My friend was not allowed to wait without a ticket. It was, like I said, those are the only two experiences where we were like, this is unpleasant. Other than that, it was just the annoying people on the side of the road who would be, why? One man said, why to the bazaar? Why not to not going to the bazaar? I was like, this is the point where I lose my shit. This is the point. Like, this is like truly. Because every time I'm in a tourist zone, and a lot of the old city, we're saying old city, a lot of the old city is tourist zones. It's someone who doesn't think that what you want to do is as important as what they want you to do, trying to talk you into something, and not like, oh, okay, like there's no taking no for an answer. Exhausting. But I this is not a place I wouldn't come back to. There are places I would never come back to. This is not a place I wouldn't come back to. We went over to the Asian side. It was nice, touristy, but not. It wasn't as touristy, and it wasn't as bad. The ferry ride was really beautiful. Being on the water all day on the different ferries, going to the islands, nice. But yeah, there were a couple of misses. That man said unclean, and I was like, I feel like deep breath. Deep breath. And then I was like, I think this is, I'm going to assume you mean stepping on the ground. Or you're just telling me I'm unclean. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So Eloyne says Turkey's intense. Egypt is even worse. I did not have as hard a time in Egypt as I did in Turkey with like that kind of like hustle culture. Turkey was worse for me than Egypt. But things happen. Like I said, I would come back. If you're interested in this part of the world, if you're interested in the history, it's great to come inside and see. Some of the tourist experiences may be a little overrated in my mind, but a good little vibe for most of the time. Good little vibe. All right. This is the part. Right? I'll have my experience and then be like, okay, that was it. So now I'm out in the hotel, like overlooking the water. Everyone's super nice. Like I was in the executive lounge a little while ago before this, and like, no, I was in the executive lounge, but I came to my room, checked in at maybe noon, and the lady was like, I got walked. There was someone who walked me into my room, showed me around. I was like, I will make you your first cup of coffee. And I was like, I don't drink coffee. She was like, you don't drink coffee? I was like, no. This is like their welcome drink. It's a lavender lemonade. So she was like, I'll bring you, because I really liked it. She's like, I'll bring you more of this. She brought me this and a tray of Turkish delights. I got to the executive lounge, and like two different men in there were like, can I make you a cup of coffee? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. You know what I mean? Like, the service here is phenomenal. The service in this hotel is phenomenal, and there's no one selling anything. I think I'm going to love it here. I think it's what I need on the end of your journey. This was not a relaxing experience for me. One thing I do want to be really clear about, though, as I say this, is I think your experience in Istanbul is going to differ based on what part of a city you stay in. We were in the old city, so almost every street we walked down was like stores and restaurants, people standing out front trying to convince you to come inside. right? Every time we went to the mosque, like, and the thing with them being near the mosques is like these guys would follow you and lightweight argue with you or lie to you. Like when this man said the mosque was closed, I kept walking. He's like, no, it's closed. You can't go in there. It's closed. Meanwhile, people are filing inside them, like visitors, not even like people praying. I checked, so I knew what time it opened, right? So I knew it was already open. It's closed. You can't go in. It's closed. Sir, you are at a place of worship lying to me. You are standing on the mosque's property lying about the mosque. You don't got a hell? Like, what? Is your hell not hot? Because what are you doing? What are you doing? Because this is. Anyhow, I started all this by saying a lot of men not listening and a lot of like men jumping into the conversation and not jumping into a conversation that you're not trying to have. Like I'm literally just walking down the street and now you've inserted yourself and you're arguing with me about what I want to do with my day. Okay. All right. Yes. Unclean can also mean on your menstrual cycle, but like a man who you don't know saying like I'm not on my menstrual cycle and assuming that I am would be wild. Just wild. You can't look at a woman and know whether she's menstruating or not. Like just so I doubt that's what he meant. The best case scenario is I stepped on the ground that everybody else was stepping on. And like if that's the rule, cool, make everybody take their socks off. But he wasn't. He was letting people just walk past me after stopping me. But yes, I'm not on a menstrual cycle. So it wouldn't make sense for that to be it. And how would a stranger looking at you know? So, it was an experience. I would, this is not a place that I would not come back to. It's Istanbul itself is a place I don't need to come back to right now. So, yeah. So, you know, whatevs. Um, let's see what else. Yeah. Okay. So here's I struggle with no. I think it's fair game for a religious building to be a tourist attraction. Babe, wait a minute. Let me tell you something else. When you get there, they're like, you can skip the security line, buy a ticket online, and skip the ticket line. Which, in my brain, that's more convenient for me, and that's more convenient for you guys because you're selling tickets. There's less people in line. You need less staff, whatever. Getting in to the mosque was €25. Skip the ticket line, not the security line, which is an hour and a half or 2 hours when we saw it. Skip the ticket window line to buy tickets online from the mosque itself, or it was on a Turkish government page is where I saw it. So I think it was from the mosque itself, maybe from the government, because I think the government runs it. €50. It was double the price to skip the ticket line. But you don't get to skip the security line. So you're still waiting hours to get inside. And it's not all that. That's not all that. I was like, when I got inside, I was like, this wasn't worth someone putting your hands on my friend, right? Or any of the other drama. Yeah, like I've been to a bunch of places where you have to like pay to get inside a church, a mosque, whatever, basilica. But you didn't have to pay to go inside the one I went in this morning, the Blue Mosque. You didn't have to pay for that. But there was a line. This morning I just walked right. Like I was pretty much like the line was moving. And so it took me like 5 minutes to get in. Yesterday it took my friend about 20 minutes. Then we came back later on for me to go in. And based on the line that she was in, that she experienced for 20 minutes, the line would have been like an hour. And I don't think it was worth it. I don't think any of I went into one mosque and we really just walked in, looked at it. Like there was no line, no charge, whatever. And it wasn't any. It was no less beautiful than the mosques we waited or that have a line of like an hour or whatever to get into. Or the ones you pay 25 euros to get into. So all that to say, I would do this again. I would try another part of Turkey. I wouldn't stay in, if I went back to Turkey, I wouldn't go, I wouldn't stay in the old part of the city. I'd stay in either the new part, probably not the Asian side because it's not that easy to get across. You got to ferry. There's a tunnel also. I saw a tunnel on the map. I assume it still works. What do tourists do inside? You look at the ceiling. Look at the decorations. That's it. That's it. There were women. There were no. It's closed in prayer, but there were some women who looked like they were praying. I caught them for a second, but I tried not to look directly at them while they were praying. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean? Like I wanted to respect their privacy. So I kind of caught a glance and I looked away. Oh, sorry. So yeah, I think I would go to another part of the city, another city in the country, but staying in Old Town Istanbul would not be. It was convenient to get to. I got inside Hagia Sophia on the third try. We tried 2 other times. And one time I talked to this tour guide and he was like, nah, bro, come again another day. He's like, it's not normally this bad. It was that bad that like the tour guide, I asked some like tour guide who was there with people already. And he was like, no, this is terrible. And then the next day we came, the line was just as terrible. And the next day after that, we came at 8 a.m. in the rain and it opened at 9. So nobody was like, there were like 5 people ahead of us. So, there isn't much to do inside. I didn't think it was worth it. In the Hagia Sophia, there's like Catholic iconography and Muslim iconography. And so having the two together is unusual. Like there's, and so I think that's why it's famous. But once I went inside, I was like, now that it's one of those things where like, I never in my life, I'd heard about it all my life. Like from like childhood, I'd heard about this place. And it seemed like something that I'd never see in my life. Because when I was young, I never really thought that I imagined that I'd be able to go out and see these parts of the world, right? And so going out and seeing them, I think is nice. But I didn't feel like it lived up to the hype. And I don't want to say that in a disrespectful way because I know someone's going to be like, it's my religion. No. Or like I get that, but like I'm talking about it as like from a tourist perspective, not from a religious perspective. And I feel like I get to talk about it from a tourist perspective because I was charged $25, 25 euros to get inside. Right? I'm not saying it's not a beautiful place. I just don't think it's worth the hassle, like the wait and the lot. Glad I saw it. If I was going back to Turkey with someone else and they were like, I need to go see it, I'd be like, okay, I'll catch you back at the hotel. I wouldn't do that again. Any hoodle. That was also not the point of the video. But this is what's kind of been, it's what I've been experiencing lately. The dogs here are huge. I've seen a few medium-sized dogs, right? And they've all been with an owner, like on a leash. Lots of loose dogs in the street. Don't get scared. The loose dogs in the street are like ponies. I did not see the dogs. They're all, most of them are tagged. So like someone at some point has like captured them and probably given them some vet care and tagged them. Not a single one did anything. I didn't see a single one of these giant dogs do anything but lay down. They ain't bark. They ain't walk up on nobody. They didn't do anything but lay in a doorway, chilling. Middle of the street. One, we were on the Asian side, one crossed the street. And when I tell you a car stopped for the dog in a way no car ever stopped for us, the car stopped and creeping real slow for the dog. And I was like, oh, we need to cross the streets with dogs. Okay. All right. Huge, massive dog. Like literally not a single one of these dogs was under 40 pounds, like 50 and up. Big dogs laying around chilling. And cats. Now the cats are like, if you eaten, I'm eaten. A cat came up, put his hand on my lap, and I was like, oh, put his like paw on my lap, and I was like, oh, look, it's so cute. I'm taking a video. The cat reaches up in my chicken, in my plate. The disrespect. The cat reaches up on a plate. I have chicken wings. The cat doesn't like grab his claw out and like grab a chicken wing. The cat simply taps the chicken wing because the cat knows. The cat has done this before. And the cat knows that once it taps that wing, that's its wing now. The cat was like, I touched it. Well, what you gonna do? Yeah, you gonna get the wing. So I go to the owner of a restaurant. The owner of a restaurant. It's a really like they were really friendly. Let me back this up by saying I had some great experiences with men, with like random men, restaurant owners, restaurants, like really honest conversations, really like we had experiences that felt really good, right? And then we had these other experiences. So I don't mean to, I'm not wrapping everyone up in the same like bow, whatever. I'm not painting everyone with the same brush. I had some really like positive experiences with men in Istanbul. I had some negative ones, but I had so this restaurant, we went there. It was my friend's birthday, so we went there. We sit down. The guy, we said it's her birthday. He was like, "That's great. I'd give you dessert, but we have reservations, so get out." It was the same night the cat gets my food, and he's like, "But come back tomorrow, and I'll give you cake." And so we happened to be. We tried to go to the mosque again, so we're in the same neighborhood again tomorrow. So we're a block away. So we're like, let's go see what he says. So we go. And he was like, sit down. No, we came back for cake. And he was like, all right, sit down. Brought us cake, candles, sung, right? Like that kind of thing where it was like, and then we tried to like leave money on the table. And he was like, nah, come back and get this. He was like, nope. Mm-mm. So that kind of like super friendly experience. I went to a store owner once and I was like, asked him a question like, are your products handmade? And he was like, some of them. And I was like, hey, this is my dude right here, right? Like, this is it. Because he wasn't like, yes, of course. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, some of it. And I asked him, like, I'd ask about different stuff, and he would tell me handmade, not handmade, handmade. Cool. And then, because we're in a bazaar, so there's a bunch of stores all together, I would say, like I had before I bought the silk pillowcases, I saw the woven ones. Which, can I see them to show them to you? I might show them to you in a minute if I can get up. Anyhow, I asked him about the 2 different stores that I saw that both sold them. I was like, this guy says his are handmade and the other one's isn't. And he was like, he's right. He's like, the one across, like the one that's not handmade. He's like, that's my friend, but the other guy is handmade and he's got a store right across the street. Because the guy was like, I have a warehouse across the street, and if you come with me, I will show you more. And I was like, once again, sounds a little kidnapping. Like nothing personal, but like, I saw someone already write in the comments. That second location isn't normally what I want to do. But when the guy who was not related to these sellers at all was like, oh yeah, he's got a store right across the street, I was like, cool. I feel much better about going to a second location with a stranger now, because this guy's like, yep, he's got a store. So yes, we had some positive male interactions, but whatever. Anyhow, the restaurant with the cake and the singing and come back later is the same restaurant where the guy, the cat was like, and then came down like, and then what? So I told the owner, I was like, the cat touched my chicken wing, and he was like, okay. I was like, am I gonna get another chicken wing? He was like, no, okay, okay, great. So I had one less chicken wing, and then I put it on another plate, and I was like, oh, the cat touched that wing. He was like, really? He said, yeah. So he picked it up and just took it in the streets and then called all the cats over and gave it to the cats. And I was like, not only do I not get a chicken wing, like you're taking my chicken wing to give to the cat, which would have gone to the cats anyway. I wouldn't have eaten it, but whatever. He was like, yeah, that's between you and he was like, that's too bad. The cat ate your chicken. But like, there's also kind of a culture that encourages the cats in restaurants. Like every restaurant we went in that had cats, which was the majority of them, unless it was like upstairs somewhere, the majority of them at street level had cats like running in and out. Like the people wouldn't chase them away, which is fine. It's not a criticism. But then your cat gonna try to take my food, right? Like, so what do we do about this? Because I'm not the one encouraging the cat interaction. I was like, okay. I was like, it's whatever, one chicken wing short. That cat was like, pop, pop. I think I have it on video. I'll upload it for my the members of the channel. Pop, pop. I said, oh, okay, great. So that was that. Just like that. The cat was like, that's mine now. Pop, pop. Didn't try to take it or anything, was just like, now that I touched it. Oh, and the guy first said something about like, he said something like to indicate that like, oh, the cat was just like showing you some love, something like that, something that was like, it's not that big of a deal. And I was like, the cat's paw that was walking around outside, like you don't have to give me more chicken. But what you're not going to tell me that it's okay to eat this chicken. Like that's where I have to draw the line. And I don't think it's a cultural line. I think you're just messing with me. But even if it is a cultural line, I am not touching. I'm not eating food, but a cat just tapped with his paw. It's just not happening. I was like, we're gonna have to disagree on that one. But anyhow, lots of cats, lots of dogs. If you do not like cats, I think not liking cats would be a bigger problem than being afraid of dogs if you're coming to Turkey. Because like I said, the little dogs were on leashes. And I only saw in the whole week I was there, I saw, I think, 3 of them. And the big dogs, which we saw every day, literally, I think at one point I walked up to one and I was taking photos with it behind it. It never even like right behind it. It never even raised his head. It's just lying in a alley-ish place between stalls, just laid out, just chilling, not worried about a thing. See if I can find that photo. Was that yesterday? It was the day before yesterday. So the dogs are just huge. Let me search. So Apple has made searching on photos so easy now. I put in dog. I I have 540 photos that they think have a dog in it, or the word dog, or something dog related. But none, wait, none from here? Or is that old? Oh, it's backwards. Let's see. Boo, we only have one so far from this trip. But when I say they're big, this is what I mean. This is what they all look like. And this is what they're doing. All the dogs, like you will see a lot of this. It's minding its business. It's not doing, right? Like, so I think if you're afraid of dogs, you can still come. I think if you really, really, really hate cats, it's a little trickier. Because these like literally my friend was less open to cats than I was. And at like 2 different restaurants, a cat just came up and sat on the bench next to her. And she would get up like, oh my God, get this cat away from me. But like, and the restaurant owners, I'd have to be like, hi, could you come get the cat? Because she's afraid. I got food in my hands, right? Like, it was just the cat would freak her out. And she'd be like, oh my God. Well, I mean, like, can you get this cat away from me? So there's a cat culture, but if you are not open to it, I think it would be more problematic than even being afraid of dogs. But what the loose dogs, every single dog we saw was huge and asleep, doing nothing. So unclean, yeah. Yeah, the cat not tap my chicken to show me some love. I was like, this cat knows what it's doing. Cat knows what it's doing. Also, what was weird to me was that there was never any static between the cats, the dogs, or the birds. You would like look around and there'd be like a corner and there'd be a cat, a bird, like a seagull, and a dog, and everyone's just doing their own thing, like within like a foot of each other, like walking by, and no one's pressed. Everyone's like doing their own thing. And I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen this many, like these animals. So like, I never saw a dog chase a cat. I never saw a cat chase a bird, and they were like all there all the time. It was very interesting. Very interesting. All right, when do I fly out? What's our next stop? My next stop is Dublin on Tuesday, so I'm excited about that. It was my first time there. Yeah. Let's see. My mic is ready to get my kimono. Sorry, y'all. Yes, everyone's minding their own business, but that cat was like, I see food. That chicken smells good. Yeah, the animals were super chill. The cats were the least chill because when you were in restaurants. No donkeys. No donkeys. No other. Don't think of any other animals we saw besides birds, cats, and dogs. I think that was it. See anything else? In the market. Saw some things, but not alive. Let's see. What else? Since we're talking Turkey. After Ireland is Scotland. If you're in any of those areas, anywhere in the country, let me know. I don't have plans for Ireland, so we'll see what that looks like. Jan says most of the cats and dogs in Dublin are chill and a little drunk. That's what I've heard. I'll find out. Okay. We started this talking about travel mistakes. I'm trying to think of whatever mistakes I made on this trip because I got distracted by all the turkey talk. I feel like all of Amsterdam was a mistake. I literally didn't do anything. Okay, what I did do right in Amsterdam. Oh, my pillow covers. Let me see if I can go grab those. I'll talk to you guys since I'm since I'm wearing the mic, I'll talk to you guys while I go look for them. What I did do right in Amsterdam is oh goodness, my hips, I'm old. Once I decided that I wasn't going to go out into the cold because I'm not that kind of girl, I got a lot of work done. Like I figured out how much my hotel cost when I checked in because I didn't really know that because I booked up a bunch of hotels at the same time. Found them. And I was like, oh, well, if I'm not going to enjoy the city while I'm here right now, I'd have to come back another time to enjoy it. I need to like make enough money to pay for this hotel room. And I will say that I dug down and did some work and did a lot of things I needed to do. And so one of the hard parts of traveling long-term like this is actually getting work done. If you need to get work done, is finding the time to get work done. And so I decided that like Amsterdam was going to be my time for that. And I decided that this part of, so like, I don't think I've even like looked at my text messages for the past 7 days because it's been like running from morning to night. So it's been nice to have this time, like these 2 days today, which I didn't get much done, but I did get some stuff done. And I'm talking to you guys now. And then tomorrow I'll get work done. So like carving out time where I can do work is something that I like to do, but I feel like is it something I get right on trips. Is like I know I'm not the kind of person that's gonna like be out all day and then work at like 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. My brain wants to turn off at like 6. So if it's not done by 6, it's not get. If it's not done by 4, let's be real, it's not getting done. Anyhow, so what's really awesome about these is the way they feel. It's super soft. It's super soft, and I think these are gonna go on my bed. Boom, 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 and they're matching. And they're hand woven, and even like the backside is velvet. Super soft. I'm a texture person. I like things that feel good, and these feel really good. Now, the man who sold me this was trying to sell me a rug, and I was like, I do not have room in my suitcase for a rug. Also, everything in the shop was hand woven, so I was like, my wallet says yes to hand woven pillow covers, but to rugs, my wallet says machine made. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Machine made me. I was like, show me what you have in a machine made. He was like, nothing in here has been made by machine. And I was like, okay, well then, no rugs for me. Also, no room. So I was very excited. Yes, these are silk, Shan. LaRonda, you are going to Turkey. You'll be visiting your friend who's born and raised there. Your experience will be nothing like mine. You don't have to watch this video. You don't. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No, but overall, so far, I'm trying to make sure this doesn't move around too much again. I'm glad I was with somebody else. I think I could have done it solo. I could have done Turkey solo. Turkey is the first place since I left Lisbon where I've been with someone. Amsterdam and Brussels, I was solo. We haven't talked about Brussels. I really enjoyed Brussels. Did I ever talk about that? I enjoyed Brussels more. Yeah, we talked about it last week. I enjoyed Brussels more than Amsterdam. So far, Lisbon and Brussels are the winners. Bermuda. I'm so sorry. If I can't live on a Ritz-Carlton yacht, which not yet, Bermuda was so amazing, so absolutely amazing. It's the most beautiful island I've ever been to in my life, and I've lived on an island. It's stunning. So Bermuda's a winner, and then neck and neck Lisbon and Brussels. I think Brussels doesn't really impress a lot of people, but I enjoyed it. I think because it was simple and I needed simple, and it was warmer than Amsterdam. Truly, like your experience in a city is really going to differ depending on the people you come in contact with, right? And things like the weather. And the weather was not warm, but warmer than Amsterdam. What I liked about Brussels, I liked that Brussels was like small and cute, and there wasn't that much to do. Like I didn't find that much to do, and so it was like it wasn't exhausting in the way that like Amsterdam was like everything that you needed to do in Amsterdam when I was there was sold out. So it was like, oh, you need to do this, it's sold out. You need to do this, it's sold out. And Brussels was like, what you want to do? Just walk in. Oh, there's nothing to do? Cool, just walk around. Eat chocolate. Like the whole city's chocolate. We talked about this last week. Mm. Loranda, yes, go to Bermuda. Bermuda, I was like, I'm so sorry. This is how y'all live? I like it. I like it. Yeah, I thought that Brussels was not overwhelming. It was super easy to get around. Sorry, I'm all funky now. So I would definitely go back. If you Danielle has a layover, I would explore Brussels a little bit. It was good. It was good. So the most challenging place so far has been Istanbul. It's the only city I'm going to be in Turkey. I would definitely come back to Turkey, visit another city. I would even come back to Istanbul. I wouldn't stay in the whole city again. It was convenient because most of the stuff we did was, I feel like I could be wrong, but depending on where you stay in the city is going to really determine your experience. Jazzy's saying Scotland's going to be cold and damp. Yeah. Yeah. Did I get an idea of a cost of living in Bermuda? Expensive. Very, 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 very expensive. Well, what I picked up was a lot of money, but it was I wasn't looking at it as a place to live. I was looking at a place like I'd like to come back here. It was a good vacation. Yeah, so Fiona says Brussels is easy to get around. I like the bridges in Amsterdam, but it does feel like you have to put in a lot of effort. It felt higher effort than I had available. Higher effort in the cold and wet. That was the thing about Amsterdam. It's raining and cold. I'll be in bed. I'll be in bed because cold and rain and effort. When I could just be, I was like, I'll be back there next year. I knew I was going to be back there next year, so I was like, I'll deal with it then. Loranda likes my crochet hat. There's a matching hat with it, but I felt like this wasn't a hat kind of moment. It's like a, whatever. So I think I'll be wearing that in Jamaica, the hat and the shirt, the little crop shirt. And the kimono, the traveling kimono, who I don't know who I give it to next. I didn't get that message. I was just given the kimono. I don't know where it goes. Okay, so Bermuda, yes. So far, Ritz Carlton yacht, yes. Amsterdam for me was a no. Brussels was a yes. Amsterdam is not more of a no. Lisbon was a yes. I think I missed that. Amsterdam was not more of a no than Turkey, but I feel than Istanbul. But for some reason, I don't feel weird saying Amsterdam was a no, but I do feel weird saying Istanbul was a no. I don't know why. I'll work on that. I'll think about that. Anyhow, yeah. I don't know what that is. That's curious. What do you guys think that is? Any idea? I have no idea. Boop, boop, boop. I lost you guys for a second. No, seriously, did you leave? Oh, here you are. There you are. Yes. Okay, I think this almost encapsulates it, Kat. Amsterdam was bad weather all the time. Istanbul was bad vibes a lot of the time, but also some very good vibes. Like we met people who were like a chef in a restaurant sat down and made a list of places to go, places that were like totally local and no tourist would go to, right? And he was like, you should check out these spots. So like Now, he wasn't Turkish, but he's lived there a long time. So like that kind of like we had those kind of experiences that were very good. And so it was a mix of bad vibes and good vibes. But Amsterdam's weather was just bad all the time when I was there. So I think that's why I feel better saying like Amsterdam for me was no, and Istanbul was like a meh, meh. And I'm at this hotel, but it's like, Miss Dow, Miss Dow, can I do that, Miss Dow? And I'm like, I do love me some good service. I love good service. So this is kind of making up for it on the back end. And I'm probably going to take a walk on the waterfront tomorrow and then nap and then work and then leave early Tuesday morning. So I think I'm done like seeing the city. Nubinette says the best part of her trip to Amsterdam was her day trip to Bruges. Is it Bruges? That's how I always say it. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm going to go back to the executive lounge and eat dinner because it's 8 o'clock here. So you know, if you know me, you know at 8 o'clock I start getting ready for bed and I haven't eaten dinner yet. So I'm going to go do that. I'll be back next week. I'll be coming to you maybe from, I'll be in Dublin. I'll be in Dublin. I met a Black Irish woman from Dublin. Met her in Hanoi in 2018. So I'll be seeing her when I'm there. That'll be really nice. And there's like a Black cultural event happening in Dublin that I'm pretty sure I'm going to go to. So like Black Dublin. Looking forward to it. I'm excited about that. LaRonda's saying Altinoluk, but it's northern Aegean side of Turkey. I chose end of May and early June for better weather. Yes. I think you're going to enjoy your time with your friend who was raised there, or at least born there, probably has family there. I think that's excellent. Okay, so y'all, don't take Turkey off your list yet, but prepare yourself if you're going to go. Okay? All right. I will talk to you guys next time. Have a great day. And for some of you guys, it's just like 1 o'clock. For some of you guys, it's 10. Beautiful days for all of you. Look for a juice box, guy. I will be looking for a juice box. If you watched last week's video, you know what we're talking about. If you don't, that sounds weird. Watch last week's video of Kyoka about Albania because it was really good. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.